10th season. And for a 10th season hosting this very program, I am your humble host, Rich Eisen, along with my buddy Steve Mariucci and my Hall of Famers at the end of the set, Kurt Warner, and a man with all sorts of angles and lines for you when you're do not adjust your sets. That's Michael Irvin. He's fired up for Cowboys and Giants later on today, as much of the NFL populace really is. And one thing we want to pause to start this show is to welcome a new member of NFL Network into the fold, into planet Earth. As a matter of fact, Aditi Kinkhabwala. Yes,
Aditi.
Along with her husband, Matt, and Nico, welcoming, as you can see in Aditi's arms, a new baby girl given birth in Cleveland yesterday, where she was in town getting set to report on today's Titans-Browns game for us. But as we know, conditions change in the NFL. So we're all excited for Aditi and
Very much,
guys.
That baby's going to be upset that it got born in Cleveland.
Why is that?
I'm just saying, it's Cleveland.
It might be a new era.
What's to be born in Cleveland?
Cleveland's turning the page. Cleveland's turning the page.
Mommy, why were you in
Cleveland when you had me?
What a broadside to start week one here. This is such a nice, warm and fuzzy moment. You're like giving Cleveland the back of your hand. Wow. Okay.
Oh, we love Cleveland.
Well, I was about to say, as you know, things can change. Well, perfect example. Hold on a minute. Things can change in the NFL so quickly, just at the snap of your finger. Like, for instance, 1 minute, Antonio Brown is doing something. Next second, he's doing something completely unexpected. And now he's a Patriot. And so this photograph that we took yesterday at our rundown meeting, smile if your Sunday morning rundown just got blown up by Antonio Brown and the Patriots and Drew Rosenhaus Sports and the Raiders. And I mean, and how rare is it to see somebody post a video of themselves shirtless running into their backyard celebrating the loss of $21 million guaranteed dollars? But that happened yesterday as Antonio Brown signed a 1-year, $15 million contract, 9 of it guaranteed, with the Patriots. And Tom Brady was one of the many members of Patriot Nation, if you will, all fired up for this. Edelman tweeted out as well, and Patriot Nation went crazy. And then the rest of the NFL fandom that doesn't root for the Patriots got all up in arms, because here's the Patriots taking somebody else's leftovers, if you will, and then turning it into their own gold. However, Mike Giardi, along with Ian Rappaport, we'll get to, this is not just anybody that we're talking about. That's, if you want to talk about leftovers, this is one of the greatest receivers we've ever seen through 9 seasons. Ian, how did this all come together?
Well, everyone in Raider Nation, Rich, thought that this thing was over. Of course, Antonio Brown apologized to his team, spoke to the media, and in his mind, this was done. He was ready to resume his career with the Raiders. And then, as he told me in a message yesterday, he got the fine $215,000 from the Raiders, and he got 2 letters voiding his guarantees. At that point, it was very clear he wanted to be released at 11:56 a.m. Eastern Time. He got official word from the Raiders. He was out. Of course, it wasn't official on the league wire until 4 p.m., but according to a new rule this year, his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, was allowed to talk to teams. The interest was significant, and at 4:58 p.m., just 5 hours later, he was a member of the Patriots, agreed to terms. We wondered so much, who is going to replace Rob Gronkowski? Can you believe it's Antonio Brown, Giardi?
Yeah, Ian, pretty crazy to think, but you know Bill Belichick has always had eyes for Antonio Brown. In fact, when Antonio Brown was made available for trade back in February and March, the Patriots were one of the teams that talked to Kevin Colbert, the Steelers GM, and tried to work out a deal. Now, obviously, he ends up in Oakland, but not for long. Now, the thing I'll caution here with Antonio Brown is if he expects to be treated differently, that's not the way it works in New England. Belichick has said once, if I favor one player, I don't favor the other 52. What does that say to them? Doesn't matter whether you're a star or not. It's all about setting the tone. He recalled the story when he first took over the team in 2000. Meeting was 3 or 4 minutes long. A former first rounder came in, sat right in the front row. He said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Sorry, coach, I'm late." He said, "No, you're out. Get out. It's not how we're going to establish a program here." Antonio Brown, you're on notice. Back to you, Rich.
Well, and so many different ways to go here, and trust me, if you're hanging with us for the next 4 hours, we're going to be talking about this a little bit more often throughout the next, as we take you to kickoff of the Week 1 early games. So does that mean we won't see any YouTube videos of a private? Hold on a minute. I should make sure, just in case this does show up, I need to show my best side for Antonio Brown's YouTube page.
We did make that video, didn't we?
Hi, Antonio. So, guys, do you think we're going to see a private conversation between Antonio Brown and Bill Belichick YouTubed out? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
What do you make of this, Kurt? You have the floor.
Well, I mean, I think there's so much here to unpack. I mean, first of all, I applaud the Raiders because after everything that went down, they had to make this move. And it didn't look like anything was going to stop in Raider Nation. They're trying to build something there. They're trying to establish a culture. I don't believe Antonio Brown gave them any option other that they believe can help them win on the football field. That's where it's at. And so I applaud both sides because I think they both did what they had to do to make their team better.
I find it amazing, actually, as we have sat the last few days and watched this as the AB world turns, soap opera that has gone on, and really to hear about Antonio Brown going after Mike Mayock, like the way we heard, and then to turn around and to act the way he acts when he got released or lose the $30 million guaranteed. I thought that was amazing to see that.
Well, a lot of people are reading into the fact that he knew that the Patriots were sitting out there. Otherwise, why would he reacted that way? Now, obviously,
he knew there was interest. That other teams probably was interested in him. I'm sure he's gotten that word from his agent. But still, I mean, like when I saw it, I was like, what did Oakland do that was so bad that you wanted out like that? Because I thought they did everything right. I thought they had tried to do everything right. So that was strange. And again, I said to myself, wow, I hope everything's okay with AB. I love AB. I love him. He's a Florida boy. It's like me. He grew up. He came through some hard times to get to where he is. So I applaud him in that. And you guys hear me say it all the time. I measure men in distance travel. So what a great distance he has traveled. But here of late, there's cause for concern as we watch how everything has unfolded. And I know we always say, hey, the Belichick, that culture, it could help him out. God knows, I hope it does. But here, AB has to understand, you're not coming here to make this program. You were Pittsburgh. You were doing great in Pittsburgh. You were going to help Oakland get back on the map. Mm-hmm. They are the map. They are the map. They don't need you to help them get back on the map. And maybe that will help him come in with a different perspective and a different attitude.
We all saw that press conference by John Gruden yesterday. I thought he did a heck of a job with it. And I texted him
Me
afterward.
too, Coach. Through it all, I thought Coach
really
Gruden
did
a great job.
He really wanted to make it work for AB in Oakland. He said they exhausted all of their efforts in trying to make this work, and it didn't work. So he wished them the best. But when you peel it all back, this circus that's been going on in Oakland, and even in Pittsburgh before Oakland, does it surprise anybody that New England grabbed him? They need him. They need AB. They can use AB. Look at their pass receivers, people. They lose Gronk. They lose Dwayne Allen. They signed Ben Watson. He's out for 4 weeks, okay? They draft N'Keal Harry from Arizona State in the first round. He's on IR, all right? Chris Hogan's not there anymore. Cordero Patterson's not there anymore. Demaryius Thomas has got a hamstring. This receiving core is a little banged up and thin. They can use AB. He's not going to play the first game, but boy, when he's ready to play second week, he's going to plug right in there and be very productive. They need him.
Well, just let me put a button on this because we're going to talk about it later on. And I think I'll just give voice to what a lot of fans out there are thinking, that you want to understand his behavior did not, if you will, wasn't as bad, if you will, as somebody who's beaten somebody up or run afoul of the law, of course. But the way that we respect NFL players and teams and the conduct and the professionalism and why many people watch this sport and enjoy it, he ran afoul of that.
Sure.
And, this has nothing to do with the fact that we know Mike Mayock for all those years. But he ran afoul of that. And the organization with the man at the top who respects the game more than anybody else picked him up within minutes, it seems, and paid him. And the question is what does that mean? What do all these platitudes towards professionalism mean? And it really upsets a lot of fans. Now, when it all comes down to it, will he be just the guy that just a guy on the Patriots who also happens to be